on McKeever Place, and was able to talk to the community, the parents, everybody. It was a wonderful potluck, very intimate. So I was gonna let Latween take a minute to talk about how the event went, what she thought was, and what information she got from that night.
Definitely. So like so mentioned, the event had a great turnout. It seemed like there were a lot of participants who are familiar with the school, and are connected to Soul to Souls. So what I could just break down what happened. So it started out with like a lot of music, a lot of just fellowship. Some parents were trickling in. And what I had to mention, a lot of the teens that were helping out, set up the table, set up the food. That was really great to see. And we ate right away. There was food from all over, from so many different countries. There was so much food left over. If you didn't come, you missed out for sure. I knew, like, I broke my diet that day for sure. But it was really good to see so many people. So even some parents that didn't necessarily make it, they made sure that food was dropped off. So that was really good to see. Um, and then Assemblywoman Farah, she did speak for about 15, not even 15 minutes. And she was just very lively and it was great. It seemed like everybody was paying attention. I think the biggest thing that was what we really need to stress is just more youth involvement. It would have been great to see maybe more teens at the event for sure. But otherwise, she had a lot of great insight. And then what else? What was the group again? Soul that had the men, the
Oh,
young men.
Elite Learners was there.
Yeah. So Elite Learners, they also spoke for a few minutes, just communicating about what they do in the community. A group of young men who definitely are making an impact in the community as well. So that was nice to have them there. But what I can definitely say though, I think what the event represented was just that there is a need, not a need, but there is a desire for more events like this. So just like more events for fellowship where, people can just come, a safe space, people, just come fellowship, listen to music. It seemed like everybody was just in good spirits. So it was a very good event just to like close out the year right before we got into like Christmas or whatever holiday that you celebrate.
Right. And I think
Hmm.
what made it different was that it didn't become like a big community forum. It was more intimate pockets. So like the parents who didn't really speak to each other or know each other before, and
Hmm.
everybody's in the community. A lot of them are from Ebbets Field. The building across the street. And one of the things is that Farah was able to talk to people in more of like small, intimate groups rather than it be like, oh, everybody had to be in exchange back and forth. Like she said, it was only like a 10, 15-minute conversation, overall for the group. But then she personally was able to talk to people
Hmm.
and then express that she lived across the street too. So, like, it was like people more intimate and more, fellowshipping, like she's saying, eating food together, talking, and people were able to address their issues in a more intimate versus a more like public type of forum. So
Yeah.
it was a great evening. I know Felice came. Linda didn't get to come, but John came. Um, yes,
Yes, it was my
yeah.
executive. That was the executive meeting. So
Yes,
I
it
was
was the same night.
sorry. I
So,
sorry.
yeah, you represented
At the
us.
end. So I,
Yeah. Yeah, that was the same night, and Linda represented for us at the meeting there. So yeah, but it was really wonderful night. So just wanted everybody to kind of know, how the night went and that it was a successful night. What I would like to do tonight, and Latwina, are you taking notes for us tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. So wanted to go over what we think February to May should look like. One thing I noticed is that, I said, at least since I've been chair, we haven't actually done anything for Black History Month. And so that's something we haven't brought up or said. And for me, I think that it would be good to think of like, should we do something for Black History Month? If so, what should it be? What would that look like? I do think that it would be nice to do something for Black History Month this year. What are your thoughts and feelings about that? And then what ideas do you have? Do you want to do things with kids? Do you want to do a standalone event? Like, what does that look like for us? If there's any suggestions.
Could we, the committee members, maybe I'm thinking of joining with the school, like says Jackie Robinson, because we've got a relationship with them. Soul to soul. And could we like put on a sort of like a small education exhibition for them, you know, about our black heroes through the years, not even, well, it's Black history, so I'll stick to Black, right? Our Black heroes through the years, people of color, something like that. Where we could get together and sort of, I don't want to say impersonate, but you know, choose maybe our own favorite person and talk about it with them. You know, and then let them.
That would be nice.
So that we be part of it and not just participants. I mean, the audience got more participants.
I think that would be nice. I think it would be nice, maybe even if, like, to take it to the next, you know me, I'm always going to think of how we can take it to the next level. I'm thinking, what if there was a day that, like, all of you come to the program and we can have, like, a couple of kids work with you. You teach them about somebody and then they perform it.
That too. So that could be part of it. Yeah. You could join it. I like that. That too would be, you know, right. And we will be like sort of in the background with the mentors, but there would be demonstrating or talking about the person that we instruct them or we help them create.
Yeah. So like maybe it doesn't have to be just a one-day thing. Maybe it could be like you come once or twice, you know, go over it with them. What do you guys think about this? How could we act it out? And let's have a little thing. And we could even ask the parents to come and see who they learned about. You know, we could start earlier so that we'd be ready right at the beginning. I think it would be good also to talk about Kwanzaa. You know, I kind of feel like Kwanzaa has been like thrown to the side. Like when it kind of, to me, I know it started more in the 80s, but to me, it kind of blew up more in the 90s and early 2000s, and then it just kind of fizzled out. I don't hear people talking about Kwanzaa that much anymore, you know, and to talk about what the principles are. You know, maybe that's something we can like have the kids do a libation thing and honoring of them and people who may have passed before us. Something like that, and just have like a night of it. And then invite the parents to come and say, and it doesn't have to be like, you know, anything super big, but we could get the auditorium easily and the kids could perform a little bit. And even if it's something that's just like a half an hour, you know, it'd be something nice for them. But we also...
I like the Kwanzaa part. And what we can do, if each of us has like an individual child, I don't like the word kids is young goats. Right? If each of us has an individual child and our ending is like a Kwanzaa presentation, you know, and then we could have like, if they want to dress in the African attire or any colorful attire, it doesn't have to be kente cloth. It can be any colorful attire, light the candles and talk about it, and they have the libations. And you know, if they come from, like, say, a family who came to America like in slavery, and say, well, this is from memory from my great-great-great-grandmom who was a slave in North Carolina. You know, end it up. I like the Kwanzaa, where we end it up with the Kwanzaa presentation. So it's a grand ending.
Yeah, I think that's nice. What do you guys think, everybody? Any feedback?
So this would be, okay. Can you just kind of break it down one more time?
Yeah, no problem. Felice, I see you. Saying hi. So basically the way we were thinking is to have volunteers from CB9 Youth and Education Committee come through to the school. We could pick some days, and then maybe the best way to do it is through email. We could do like one of those Google Forms or something, like when could you come? you pick a person that you want to teach the kids about, right? And then you can have a couple of kids learn about that and maybe act out something or do something to that person so it helps them to learn. I also have a Black History bingo game. So there's a lot of people on there that you could find out about, because every year I always play Black History bingo with the kids. Then I can ask parents to give some donations so we could give out prizes for those who know and learn more about them. But that can give you a plethora of people to pick from, and then have the kids like present someone new that they learned from you. And then we was gonna end the ceremony with a
Kwanzaa
Kwanzaa
celebration.
celebration. So that means we'd have to get the candles and all of that.
I have one of the menorahs, the Kwanzaa menorah.
Okay.
And the candles, so that would be they just light it, but they have a say. Coming back to the price part, I was thinking about it, but every month in our community board, we always have everybody bring SLAs, and when we ask them, what are you going to give back to the community, right? They're all willing to do.
Okay.
Maybe all of us here, majority of us here are on the community board, right? Maybe we could get a listing of some of those businesses. Now is a chance for you to show me what you can give to my community, because I want a donation of a price. It could be a gift certificate. If you have a restaurant, it could be a dinner for the child and maybe the parents, if there's only like a parent person. I mean, for people, family. So this is the opportunity for us to really look at it. So what I think would be a good thing is that maybe we could put together a proposal and speak to the Jackie Robinson School. The way how the principal, when she met with us, she seems to be very comfortable and seem to be good to work with. And maybe we could put it to her so that she would be able to help us draw the children, give us a space to meet for them. Maybe some days if you're off, you could come to the school, or if she could say to us, well, after school you can come, stuff like, because she would be the one who should be directing us in the space and time that the kids have to be allowed to have, or will be allowed for us to meet with them. Guys, we got to get some sort of.
Well, that can all go through me actually, because
okay, right. So you can
so you can
together a proposal. Proposal and let us present it also to the board. Because remember, we still got to get the board's permission to.
Okay.
Right, and put it to the board, and as much of us that got time that could be involved, we all could come and help.
Okay, that sounds great. So we can make an arrangement around that, and I can help arrange everything. The principal would definitely love and be open to that. Then it would just be getting the secretary to put in the permits for those days, whatever days we're gonna do. All right, so that's great. Sounds like a great thing. Any feedback or any other ideas? All right, so we'll move on.
I'm looking at the calendar to see which would be.
Yeah, when would we want?
When do we want to do it?
We want to do it the last day of February. That's a Thursday, so it gives us time to really, rather than rush early up and then.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
that sounds good. What date is that? What date is that?
February 29th. So of all the years, extra day we got to work on it.
Okay, so we have a leap year this year. Okay, February 29th is the aim. That sounds great. Okay, that's a February thing. Now we talked about, and John, I'm glad that you came. I know we talked about the donation, so I think now, we're past Christmas and all the holidays, so we can be a little more focused. John, is this something you still want to be able to do? Because I know I did get the approval from Dante and them that if we want to make the community board office the drop-off site for the clothes, we can. But I want to know, is this still a need, and should we start? Because that means I'm going to start pulling clothes out and saying here.
Yes.
Okay. So you still want it. Okay.
Yes.
So when should we like have, because I think we should then have a flyer, a kickoff, like, hey, we're donating the clothes. John, what is the name of the organization or where like, where is it going to?
It's going to 14 DCAP, Brooklyn Justice Initiatives.
All right. Could you just or well, Latwina will write that down, Brooklyn Justice Initiative. And I'll make a flyer. And so by this Friday, it will be out. Do we want the official kickoff to be, well, the office won't be open on Martin Luther King, right, Khalid?
No, we'll be closed.
You'll be closed. Okay, so let's make it the day after, the Tuesday, as an official start, as an official start time or day for us to start giving things. Now, did you want it to be just clothes, or did you want canned foods, or just clothes?
You said what else? I'm sorry.
Canned food or just clothes?
Clothes is fine because we already give them. I mean, we already give them food weekly.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. So we'll do a clothing drive, and so we can all start to donate clothes. I'm gonna start pulling out some things and start donating too. All right. So we'll get that done. Oh, the youth forum. I have to find out more details. So I'll bring back that for the next meeting. But the job, because they have a new director that's gonna be at the school, the program in the school that helps to lead that. So I believe that they just hired the person. So once I'm able to talk to them by next month, I should be able to have a conversation with them to find out what is going to be the date. You know, what can we bring to the table? Maybe there's some of you that may want to lead something in there. I know one thing that I do realize with our group is we kind of know what each other do, but we kind of don't. Like, I don't necessarily know, like, Alethea, I don't know what your background is, or, you know, like, is there something maybe we can create, Latween, maybe we can help create a Google form that talks about, well, number one, has your contact information, because I still have not been able to set up WhatsApp because I don't have everybody's number. But I have some people, so I'm gonna set up the WhatsApp with what I have, but it would be good to be able to have everything so that we can set up like, what do people do? What are people background? What are people expertise? We should know those things about each other, because there may be ways that we can help the community or direct other people in the community to certain people in our committee, because we're more aware of what each other does. So there's something I think we should put together for that. And then for the youth forum, maybe there might be a topic or something you'd want to lead, you know, with the kids. What would that be? So please, you know, make sure you let us know if there's some interest around that, and we'll follow up on the youth forum for next month. We talked about community cleanup. Do we still want to do a community cleanup, and when do we want to do the community cleanup? I think we should put some tentative dates together.
Did we say we were going to partner up with another committee for that?
Yeah, the environmental committee.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
I told Debbie a bit about it, and she was supposed to get back to me. Actually, I was hoping that I see when she was having the meeting, but she wasn't. I didn't see her at the last board meeting, and I remember it when I was going into the meeting, but when I didn't see her, by that time it might have gone out of my mind with some other stuff that was happening. So let me just touch base. I think I got her number. Let me touch base with her, and I can even send the email and let us see where we're at.
All right. Well, I think that what we should do is this, because we don't want to like slow anything down,
Yeah.
because whether they're with us or not, why don't we pick a tentative month and day to do it, and then ask them, hey, do you want to join in on this, and do it that way? Because then we're like trugging along and
Yeah.
to do something, you know, to make it happen rather than waiting for each other.
All right.
So when would we want to do this? Like, is this a springtime thing we'd want to do?
For sure. It's too cold now.
Yeah, it's too cold. And Earth Day it's kind of far off, but I just Googled Earth Day is April 22nd. So maybe we can do it early April.
Okay.
No, birthday seems fine. So give us space and time.
What day
And
of
it's
the
a-
week is
and
it?
it- and it's
What
just-
day of the
and
week?
it's-
It's a Monday, so maybe we could do it the weekend before.
Yes.
Okay.
April?
this year's a April 22nd. Yeah,
Okay.
Monday, April 22nd.
Mhm,
So maybe we
okay.
can do it the weekend right before.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Saturday morning or the Sunday night.
So you want to do it on Saturday?
Or the Sunday night.
Okay.
Closer to the day. I think way than everybody else. So just ignore me sometimes.
So do we
Um,
want to do it on the 21st or the 20, what was it? You said the 22nd?
Yeah, Monday, April 22nd is the actual day. So
Do
maybe
we
we
want to
can
do it
do
on the
it.
20th?
Yeah, my only thing about Sunday is just people getting ready for their week, people with church.
Yeah.
And then so Saturday
Saturday's
might
fine.
be
20th?
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Let's
then
do the 20th.
yeah, kids will still be in school, so we can get a hold of.
Wait a minute, but that might not be the best week to do it because I think that's spring break week.
Oh yeah, hold on.
And so, I mean, pretty much it should be okay. But then, like, let's say we're doing something for the
Mhm.
kids, or, I don't want to like jeopardize because the week of spring break is that whole week.
Yeah,
The 15th or something is that week.
I'm looking right now.
We can always do it the next Saturday then.
True.
What's that Saturday?
1 minute. That is the 27th.
Let's pick the 27th just to be careful, just to be
Okay.
sure. So April 27th, let's say like around, why don't we say like around 1 o'clock? Because I don't know if people want to be up early. Like I don't find that people like getting up early on a Saturday.
And
1
white
o'clock
people,
is hot. 1 o'clock is hot in the middle of the day.
Yeah, but it's
We can-
April. It's not gonna be that hot.
I think a nice 11:30, 12.
Yeah, I think it's
11:30?
morning time, 10 o'clock, 10 to 11, 10 to 12
Okay.
is good.
Because it's still
All right, so let's
morning,
just-
but it's not like early.
Early.
Right.
All right, so let's do 11 a.m. on the 27th then. And where do we want to do? Do we just want to do the streets? Do we want to do the park? What do we want to do?
Park? How's Ronald McNair Park? Is that?
I'll be honest with you. I feel like we need to do some streets because some of these streets are
Yeah.
dirty. Like
I
we could do a
agree.
park, but it's like if I go across the street from my house, they just for some reason that management will not like. I don't understand how garbage just ends up on the street. Like
Mhm.
it's like someone just goes like this, and it's like, why is there garbage all over the street?
Yeah,
Like,
the
maybe we could
parks.
put a couple of box.
The parks are gonna get cleaned up quicker before the streets do, it seems. So if I don't know if we have to pick a street right now, but if we could like pick a safe street or something and just
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe we could pick a
look around.
couple because if there's enough of us, we can get through a couple blocks.
that's true.
All right, so we can figure that out a little bit, but at least we have a date and stuff put together.
I was
Alright.
recently, this is like on the topic. I was recently in like the PLG coffee house on, I think I forget the cross streets, but it's a few blocks from where I live. And I know that a woman came in and she was saying that she works with the community garden, like right near there, and that she wanted to do like a street cleaning up thing, and she has an organization. And I didn't catch the whole conversation, but I'm sure I could go back and see if maybe I can find out more about that, because if she has like something else going on and like she's a part of a bigger group, then we could also team up with them too.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So you
Good,
could bring
good,
it to us for the next meeting.
Yeah.
All right, cool. the next cool thing is that falls right into the next part of the agenda is around the community garden. So we talked about the community garden on Union between Classen and Franklin. And then what I notice is every day when I go into Jackie Robinson School, there's a garden right there, but I don't think it's really being used. That, we could do a community garden event with the kids, maybe have them plant some things so that it could grow. I'm not a garden person, though I love to, and I'd love to learn. Is there anybody, I know Nicholas is into that, but he's not here right now. But is there people into gardening to know when is the best time to plant if we want the flowers to come out by a certain time?
So all my plants die, but I really am into so, but I love them. But I actually he's part of another community board in Williamsburg, but he is what he focuses on plants. I have a friend of mine actually, and also housing disparities. He's found a way to like kind of connect those together. So I can invite him to come in and speak, and then he can tell you anything you need to know about gardening, plants. So I can definitely try to get him to come into the next meeting, and maybe he can definitely help us out with that. He literally can do it in his sleep. So, because I can't.
Yeah, please. Because then I just might mean that, we need to just, because seeds are not expensive. Like we can donate money to seeds. So it would just then be that, I see the garden out there. We could take a bunch of kids out. Let's plant this now. Let's water it, do what we need. What do we need to do to keep it up? Because if it's just watering here and there, whatever, I don't think that would be very hard. And we can have the after school staff help to do that too. And it would be nice to see some beautiful flowers and fruits or vegetable, whatever, that can grow by the summertime or the end of the spring. So I think that would be nice for the kids, but it would be nice to know. I can find out, my friend is a part of that garden, so I can find out how to get because there's an actual committee that's over that garden. So we can find out what can we do to help them.
Okay, good.
Yeah. All right.
So
So
we're
that's
ready to be starting from scratch. We will be just be assisting.
Yeah, no, not at their garden. They actually do things with it. They don't leave it barren. The kids one probably would be more from, I mean, I just know that there's boxes and stuff there, but I don't think anything's in it. Yeah. All right. So do we have a time frame or a plan? Does anybody know anything about planting anything? Because I know there's a certain time of year you're supposed to put it in. Go ahead, Twyla.
I know a little bit about gardening. I do know there's like bulb flowers that you have to plant in the fall before the first freeze. It hasn't really gone below freezing yet. So, and I've seen stuff start to bloom in the park. So that's a bit concerning for nature. But I think you can kind of plant most types of like flowers because there's like different gardening zones like across the world. And so I think that if you plant like flowers that can grow in your zone, like there's seasonal flowers, but I think for the most point, like if it's warm out and it's springtime, you can always find flowers that you can plant. If you like go to a hardware store or something and they just have like the wall of seeds, you can pretty quickly like figure out what's plantable. And for the most part, some of the flowers are like pretty low maintenance and just kind of like fun. And the same with if we wanted to do like herbs and stuff, because those are really low maintenance. Like you put seeds and like it just like explodes. So I think that could be fun because it's also edible too.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a great idea. So we can look into that. Does anybody have any connections with Brooklyn Botanic Garden people? Like, is there somebody that could possibly do a project with us from there? Because it's right across the street.
We could find out, even if we don't. I usually volunteer for Brooklyn Bridge Park, but that's a whole different thing.
Okay. But I'm thinking since they're so close, they're in the neighborhood, they're not district, that would be a good connection. So we could put that, if Latween, you could put that on there, and then we can see who could follow up with that and see if we could get somebody to do a project with us and the kids. That would be good.
I know someone who works there, and I'm sure
Okay.
that I could ask her, like, because there's also like a program for teens that's like gardening apprenticeship. And so I wonder if maybe we could have teenagers like from the neighborhood that work at the apprenticeship, because like I was like looking into it. I'm not a part of it, but I know that like you like teach things about gardening to other like younger kids when they come to the garden. So I'm sure that if I could ask her, because she's like very community oriented, so if maybe like they could come to the community garden there. I'll ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Twyla. All right. Um, okay. And then we can maybe even ask them if they donate any seeds and stuff like that, since that would probably be their thing anyway. So that's something we can do. Now the next thing is some new suggestions. So Twyla, if you could take a moment and talk about the mentorship program we have been talking about.
Okay, so I'm in high school and I go to a school that's K through 12. So like part of our health program and like physical education program is there's like a mentorship program for high school students that come and talk to the eighth grade health class, about different like things about middle school, like peer pressure and maybe like social stuff, and just kind of like let kids that are in middle school who are maybe having a hard time just know like you have somebody to talk to. And I think like we had high school mentors when I was in middle school, and it was really helpful. And I think it was a meeting in November, I'm not quite sure, where Seoul, you actually, or I think it was someone mentioned that they wanted like some support for the students. And I was like, actually, I kind of know a bit about that. And I also I'm certified in teen mental health first aid. So I was thinking that maybe I could go to Seoul's after school program like once a week or every other week, and kind of with like a small group of students just like talk to them and like teach them about like how to be like mentally like aware of like maybe I'm feeling this way, and just kind of like let them know that like it's okay to not feel okay, and just like get some support from someone closer to them in age. Because I know like even though I didn't really reach out to them, it was really helpful to know that like people who were like similar to me in age, and like people I knew were just there for me if I wanted to talk. So I was interested in maybe doing that. Does anyone have
So I
any
think that would be a great thing to bring to our students. So Twyla, I'll follow up with you on that and let the parents know. I know I just have to also make sure I ask in terms of, entrance and, whatever logistics that, the school may have. We'll make sure everything is cleared. And I think that's a great program to have. And then it would be good if I can have a conversation with the person who helps lead that program in your school, so that we can, do a really strong collaboration pretty soon.
right?
So I think that's wonderful.
I need to talk to other people, but I think that for the first few, and I would definitely try to recruit people, but I think like it would probably be me for a while, just because
Okay.
like a lot of people I know have pretty busy schedules, so I'm not sure. I will definitely try, but I
Okay.
can put you in contact with her because I've talked to her about it, and she's very open, and she's like excited to see where it goes.
Okay. And then I think this would still be a program that if any of us as the adults or community staff want to participate in it and, just want to have some time, because I'll be honest with you, kids, they love like the attention. They love, like knowing someone's listening to them and, all of these things, some of these kids would like really flourish with being able to have a little bit of extra attention. You can only do but so much with so many staff. So it'll be a great thing for some of them. So we can also join in more if we wanted to support with that effort. Um, But we already talked about a Black History student event. Another thing that's come out and is released is there's a grant from
Mhm.
Citizens New York City, a micro grant of $3,000. I applied for it for the community event. I'm not sure what happened. I think something weird happened with the email, but I want to reapply for the large community event. But I wanted to know, is there anything that we plan to do that could be either standalone, or if we want to still do it as the larger community event for the that's going to be closer to the summer, that we could ask for three, because we could do two, because I believe there's this round, there's one due March 1st. So I'm gonna apply for that. If you want, we can apply for something that we want to do, or I can just do it the way I did it before and leave it for the larger event and talk about what we're going to do in the middle of it. So what is your thought? Should we apply for two? If we're applying for two, what is it going to be? What would we do the premise around? What kind of community event do we want to do as a community, as a committee? Felice, Pamela, any ideas? Alethea? And if by any chance you guys could
I'm
join our
listening.
team, that would be great.
Yes, I'm listening for now.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions or ideas of any events or anything we'd want to do? So what I'll do is,
Youth Summit?
go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
thinking outside of the Youth Summit.
Yeah, like it could be outside, or maybe if we wanted to make the youth summit bigger by adding something to it that they didn't add, and this is something we want to apply for, then that'd be fine too. What would the ideas around that be though? Because if I'm gonna put something together, I gotta know like what are we saying we want to do.
When do you have to have it in?
March 1st. March
Oh.
1st. So we have, like, so what we could do is I'll put it, like a hold on it. By next meeting, if there's ideas and stuff that you guys come up with, let's be prepared to put
Okay.
something out next month, because I would need at least 2 weeks or so just to make sure it's right.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I'll put that out there. The next meeting, we definitely have a guest speaker, Shaquana Boykins, and she's the district leader for 57, which is our district, because she's the same district as Assemblywoman Farah. She's, I know I had no idea or hadn't heard of what is a district leader, and how do they help our community. She's very passionate about youth. I know that her job is somewhere around like us, how we're always having to vote for these civil court judges and all of those things, but do we really know who these people are? How do we know, who's representing our interests? So that's I know that's a large part of her job. So she'll be here to talk about what she does, her work with youth. I don't know if there's any initiatives or anything she has coming up, but she will be able to talk. And then somebody said they were going to invite somebody else to talk next week. Was that the garden person?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll get a hold of him and see
Okay.
if that's something you'll be interested in, but
Okay.
I think it'll be. So I'll let you know.
Okay. So we can have those two guest speakers for the next meeting, and then coming up with the ideas around if we're gonna apply for the 3,000, what are we applying for? What are we asking for? And I will have the WhatsApp group set up next time, so that we all can communicate with each other. I have at least the ones that's on text now. And Pam, I'll make sure that I add you to the group. Also, are you okay with it? Because I don't think you were at the meeting when we asked. Are you okay with us adding you to WhatsApp?
I was at the meeting and I did say yes. I think
Oh,
we
you
just,
did? Okay. All right, I'm sorry. I thought it was one of the meetings you wasn't at. So, okay, thank you for clarifying. All right, so I'll make sure that I'll set all of that up so that will be done. So is there any other questions, concerns, or anything else that needs to be brought up?
but since I know I'm going to be added to the team, every year the community in the park does National Night Out, Stop the Violence.
Okay.
It's done with the precinct, it's done with the community. They have the food out there, they have vendors out there, they have resources out there. It's something that you guys can chime in on and be part of the community.
When is that, Pam?
Um, I think it's sometime in, it's more towards
I think
the
it's sometime in August, July, August,
Yeah.
around that time, or
Oh,
even
okay.
September. I can find out because the 71st
Okay.
precinct does this, and Pam is correct in what you're saying.
Okay.
Is that the one by the playground where we keep our general meeting? PS 61?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. No, it's not down at 61. It's
No,
right
no.
down the block from the school that
Right, I mean, right, the part down the block. I was saying next, close to PS 61.
it's right where Soul has the kids in the school. It's in the right there on what's
Park.
that? Sullivan.
Oh, okay.
It's right
Oh.
there where they play basketball in the park.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay. I mean, I think that's definitely something we can, we would be supportive. But if it's August, then we're typically not in session because I know usually they're off, but I think that doesn't mean that we couldn't still plan and be a part of it. We just have to make sure we're strategic because we know that's not normally the operating times for us if it's August. So we just need to make sure before we adjourn in June, we know the dates and we know everything ahead of time so that we can.
People know they will come. Right.
Exactly.
Because remember, that's how the time when we don't meet as a board in July or
Right.
August.
Right. Okay.
I can find out, either Pam will find out the date by tomorrow.
Okay.
Fine.
Or even tonight.
It's a good time to tell the people about the community board 9 and what you guys have to offer, so that come September you might have a lot of youth out there that'll participate.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. All right, everybody. So thank you everybody for participating and coming into the meeting tonight. If there's any questions, concerns, or anything, actually, as soon as I get off this phone with you guys tonight, I'm gonna set up the WhatsApp, and then please just confirm that you received that. Alethea, I don't think I have your info. So once we hit stop recording, I'm gonna ask you to text it to me, and then it just makes it easier because when we try to do it the other ways, it just takes too long. So if you could give me that, I'll set up the WhatsApp as soon as we get off. All right, well, thank you, everybody. I'm gonna motion to adjourn.
So move.
If no one else. You move? Okay. Linda moved already. All right, thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. We'll see you in February and see you soon. Thank you. I don't Khalid, don't hang up with
Good night.
Alethea. Give me it. You can stop
Yeah.
recording.